isn't wrong, or because, you know, and you can twist things around a little bit.
Yes, sometimes that happens.
I hear people doing it every once in a while.
Like, yeah, daily. Did you have your hands?
I think sometimes, and I see this with one of my children a lot, that they're the exception. You are the exception to the rule, or you can change the outcome. The consequences are not applicable to you. So.
And all of that really boils down to this whole rationalization kind of deal, right? Yes?
I think if we get hooked on instant gratification, it's really hard to have the patience.
Okay. We're going to come back to that, because this is a big deal in this whole obedience thing, is the instant gratification.
Sometimes you're not close to the Spirit, and it just feels good to do the wrong thing. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You're supposed to experience the wrong thing.
There you go. Just going to do it.
And it happens when his family, who are non-members, surround me. It's so wrong, but I'm going to lunch with everybody because it's the Sabbath day and it's family time.
There you go.
I don't know.
I've heard everybody does it.
Diet Coke drinkers of the world unite. Yeah, I know. Okay. Obviously, there's just a slew of reasons why we don't obey or we choose not to obey. Let me suggest to you that most of the time we're just flat out choosing not to be obedient. The only other thing that I had written down that I'm not sure got brought up was just the fact that some things seem too small. I mean, really. Is this Diet Coke going to keep me out of heaven? You know, so we kind of go through that notion. And some things are just too small. I mean, surely you're kidding, right? You know, I can't do that or whatever. So what I'd like to do is explore just a few of those things here as we go on. I think the first one that I want to explore is this notion that it's too hard. This is a big thing, it's too hard, I couldn't possibly do that. If we think about the things that are too hard, well, first off, let's acknowledge the fact that the Lord has told us, and we all know the classic example in the Book of Mormon, where Nephi and his brothers receive a difficult assignment from the Lord. And they're going to go back and get the plates, right? And Laman and Lemuel say, you know, what? Are you kidding? And Nephi is presented with probably one of the toughest challenges of his life, is my guess. That he runs across Laban and he's commanded to, you know, smote off his head, which goes against everything we've ever been taught. Here's a righteous man, and you want me to do what? You know, and the Lord has prepared a way. And Nephi tells us in the Book of Mormon, I will go and do the things which the Lord hath commanded. For I know that the Lord giveth no commandments unto the children of men, save he shall prepare a way for them, that they may accomplish the thing which he commanded. So we know that the Lord will prepare a way. So these hard things that we have to do, things that we're just not, for whatever reason, physical, mental, emotional, you know, our newness in the gospel, whatever it is, they're just too hard for us to do. We know that the Lord will prepare a way for us to do that. We certainly have to exercise faith in order to make that happen. In fact, maybe we can talk about that for a second. Is there anybody who's got an example right off the top of their head where the Lord has prepared a way for them to do something, to be obedient, to do something hard, where you said, holy cow, who knew? The Lord prepared a way to make that happen.
I had to go to work and to help support my family. And that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Mm-hmm. And yet, literally, I can look back now and see how Heavenly Father just walked me into the job that I have. Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you think about it, I was thinking about some examples in my own life, and I thought there's probably not one of us in the room who either is or has been married to someone where you wouldn't say that the Lord sort of walked you down the aisle, if you will. Sorry for that. To this great person that you may have found to spend the rest of your life with, and certainly that's happened in my case. I too, when I was single, I was waiting tables, and I was a waitress at Denny's. And if you know anything about Denny's, the money is all on the morning shift. It's all on the breakfast shift. And so when you go to work there, of course you don't get the breakfast shift, right? Because people spend years working their way to the breakfast shift. And so I was working dinner, and I got this opportunity to work the breakfast shift. And to no surprise, Sunday is the biggest day as well. And so I got an opportunity to work the Sunday breakfast shift. Oh, come on. It doesn't get better than that. And I did it. And I made a fair amount of money. And there was because of the rotating church schedules, there was times when I could go to church, and then there were times when I did not for a period of time as a result of when our meetings were and so forth. And my good bishop called me in and said, Mindy, whatever you make on Sunday, I will pay you. I will give up that shift. And I said, you don't need to do that. I'll give it up. And I did. And I never lost one dime. To no surprise. The Lord prepares a way for us to be obedient. One of the reasons that we brought up a minute ago was that some things are too little, or some things are too hard, too big to do, too big. Let's talk about the little stuff for a second. We may think that a commandment is not very important. We know the story of Naaman. Who can give me the 30-second version of the story of Naaman? Anybody?
He was the captain of the armies. He had leprosy. A servant said, there's a prophet that can cure you. He went. The prophet said, didn't come, but sent a servant to say, wash in the... It was a river but it was dirty, and not as nice as the rivers he could go to.
Right.
He was upset that it would be such a simple thing and not even in a clean place, and that the prophet didn't come out. And then the servant said, well, if he would have asked something huge, wouldn't you have done it? So why not just do it? And he did, and he was
There you go. The 30-second version. Thank you. I'm supposed to wash in the River Jordan instead of Damascus or whatever it was, and I don't get that. Why would that make any difference? And so, I'm sure all of us at some point in time sort of caught ourselves in kind of that same kind of thing. Can we just come up with a real quick list here of things that we consider too small? Commandments that are just like a little too small for us to obey? Yes?
Nothing should enter your lips when you're fasting.
Oh, fasting. Okay. That's a small one, right? What else? Yes?
Reading our scriptures every day.
Okay, some people think reading the scriptures every day is kind of small. It's not a big deal. Skip a few days here and there. What else?
Telling white lies to spare somebody's feelings.
Okay. She's going to bring up that honesty thing again, right? Okay, all right. What else? Small commandments.
Prayer.
Prayer.
Reading.
I'm sorry? Did I miss one over here? Prayer.
Observing the Sabbath.
The Sabbath day, keep it holy. Absolutely. What else?
Chastity.
I'm sorry?
Chastity. Chastity.
Chastity. Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm not in a small category, but thank you for bringing that up.
Well, dressing, how you dress is part of that.
How you dress?
A small thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into chastity.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's broken down into small things.
And there are a whole bunch of little things that can lead up to
Right.
big problems.
Absolutely.
That's what I was going to say, it's modesty.
Okay. How about R-rated movies?
Yeah.
Some people can justify their way out of that one. I remember a prophet telling us not long ago about one earring in our ears at a time, or whatever it was. I hate to keep harping on the Coke, Diet Coke thing, but for some people that's kind of a small deal. Whatever you want to do. If I was to ask you a list of hard things, big hard things we need to obey, would the list be much different than what we just rattled off?